This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's talk about the Thunderdome. No, not the one in WWE. The original one, the OG here from Halloween Havoc 1989. That's what we're calling this crazy electrified cage match. And the paper on the cage, there's lots of decoration, if you will. It actually catches on fire right before the match, which turns into a whole thing. This is a very WCW moment. What do you remember sitting ringside and seeing things fall apart here?
Well, you hope that it could be salvaged, that we didn't, go down like the Titanic. I remember Great Muta spitting his mist. I think I recall that, and on the fire. I didn't know why we did that match. I don't know why we had to have an electrified cage. Now that's a Jim Herd decision or influence, at least, that maybe the folks at Turner Home Entertainment thought was cool, and that happened often. But I don't know why we had to have that such a gimmick, because we had an amazingly personal issue, and he had some of the greatest talents in the history of wrestling involved. I'm going to let those guys decide what they want to. I learned that from Cowboy. What do you guys want to do? I want to work a return. Tell me how you're going to get there. What's in your mind? How would you book this match? But I don't think any of those guys sort of booked an electrified cage and all that bullshit. I mean, my God, look at the people that are at ringside. You got Gary Hart out there. You got Ole Anderson out there, two Hall of Fame guys. Look in the ring. Young, Great Muta, who probably should have been the NWA champion at some point in time. That never happened. And I think him being Japanese was one of the issues. He didn't speak good enough English. So, you go back and look back in the 40s and 50s, some of those cats that were champion, excluding Lou, a lot of those guys were not great orators. But they were hired and they were kept on because of their work in the ring, not for their verbal skills. So I always thought that we missed the boat on Muta on that deal. But nonetheless, it was what it was. But the whole cage thing, it made a good promo.
Yeah.
Which is why I think that it was a Herd Turner Home Entertainment concept. Because I just can't imagine the guys that are in the match creating that.
Well, let's talk about how interesting this is, because Bruno is here. We're throwing everything against the wall here. Bruno's going to make his debut. He's the special guest referee. Ole's in the corner for Sting and Flair. Gary is in the corner for Funk and Muta. And the match ends when one of the cornermen throw in the towel. Flair has Funk in the figure 4. Ole's punching Gary Hart, who happens to throw the towel in, and now Sting and Flair are the winners. There's so many finishes in this era designated to be cute.
Yeah.
Not very many that are decisive. In hindsight, were finishes like this hurting WCW long-term, do you think?
I think so. I think it hurts any company, Conrad.
Yeah.
You can only slip on so many banana peels. You can only have so many inadvertent this or inadvertent that leads to the conclusion of the match. And again, just sitting in on booking meetings and talking to top talent over my career, you ask the talent, what the hell? What do you want to do? How can we get to, it's like Cowboy saying, I'm going to bring you in January. I'm going to program you with a dog, JYD, back in the heyday, and I want to blow it off on Thanksgiving night in New Orleans at the Superdome. Give me your vision of how that can be facilitated. So it wasn't always just the booker doing it. The booker wanted a talent to buy in, to be emotionally invested in their angle, because the more tickets they sold, the more money they were going to make. So you had a roadmap. You start in January, for example. Could be earlier, could be a little bit later, but usually not. And then you're going to blow it off on Thanksgiving. Subsequently, the returns will come through the Christmas holiday. So there's a method to the madness there. But I just don't think we needed to do that. I don't think it added anything other than it was a cool promo. That's it.
Right.